There comes a moment in a person's life when they stop asking for sympathy and start demanding more from themselves. For Daniel Carter, that moment came on a cold Saturday evening. The house was full of laughter. Relatives had gathered for a family celebration. People were sharing stories about success, business, promotions, expensive cars, and vacations. Everyone seemed happy. Everyone seemed important. Everyone seemed respected. Everyone. Except Daniel. At 22 years old, Daniel worked 12 hours a day in a small grocery store. His salary barely covered his expenses. He didn't own a car. He didn't have a degree. He didn't have savings. And according to many people around him, he didn't have a future. As he sat quietly in a corner, he noticed something. Whenever his wealthy cousin Michael spoke, everyone listened carefully. People laughed at his jokes. They praised his achievements. Even his smallest opinions seemed valuable. But when Daniel tried to speak, people ignored him. It wasn't because he was rude. It wasn't because he lacked intelligence. It wasn't because he lacked kindness. He simply lacked money. Then something happened that he would never forget. His uncle leaned toward another relative and whispered, "Poor boy, I feel sorry for him. He'll probably spend his entire life working for others." Everyone laughed softly. Daniel heard every word. He smiled, pretended everything was okay. But inside, something shattered. That night, while everyone slept peacefully, Daniel sat alone in his room staring at the ceiling. His phone was silent. No messages. No support. No encouragement. Only thoughts. Painful thoughts. He looked into the mirror and asked himself, "Am I really worth so little? Does nobody believe in me? Is money the only thing that gives a person value?" Tears rolled down his face. Not because he was weak, but because even strong people become tired when life keeps testing them. For a moment, he thought about giving up. Maybe his relatives were right. Maybe dreams were only for lucky people. Maybe success belonged to others. Maybe he should accept an ordinary life. But then, he remembered his father. Years ago, when Daniel was just a child, his father had told him something. "Son, never let other people decide your future. Most people judge you by where you are, not by where you're going." At that moment, Daniel wiped his tears. And for the first time in his life, he made a promise to himself. Maybe I'm poor today. Maybe nobody respects me today. But I promise myself, I won't stay here forever. The next morning, nothing changed. The world didn't suddenly become easier. He still woke up at 5 in the morning. He still worked long hours. He still returned home exhausted. And people still underestimated him. But something inside Daniel had changed. He stopped feeling sorry for himself. Because he understood something powerful. Complaining never changes anything. Action does. His friends spent hours scrolling through social media. Daniel spent hours learning. His friends laughed at dreams. Daniel studied successful people. His friends complained about life. Daniel worked on changing his. Slowly, he developed a different mindset. He stopped asking, "Why is life unfair?" Instead, he asked, "What can I do better?" And that question changed everything. Months passed. One night, after returning from work, Daniel saw a video of a successful entrepreneur talking about building online businesses. Something inside him became excited. For the first time in years, he felt hope. He spent every free moment studying business, marketing, communication, sales, mindset. He knew nothing at first, but he kept learning because he understood something most people ignore. Knowledge compounds, just like money. Every day, he improved by 1%. And little by little, he started dreaming again. But dreams come with a price, and success demands sacrifice. Daniel stopped attending parties. He stopped wasting money. He stopped spending time with negative people. Some friends became angry. Others laughed. One friend said, "You've changed." Daniel smiled. "No," he answered. "I'm trying to change my life." People often hate seeing someone become disciplined because discipline reminds them of their excuses. Months later, Daniel gathered all his savings. It wasn't much, but to him it was everything. He invested it into his first online business. For weeks he barely slept. He worked during the day and worked on his dream during the night. He felt alive. He imagined helping his parents. He imagined paying off debts. He imagined giving his mother a peaceful life. He imagined making his father proud. Finally, after 3 months, he launched his business. He was excited. He believed success was coming. But reality had other plans. Nothing happened. No customers. No sales. No profit. Day after day, he waited. Still nothing. Weeks passed. And then, his business failed. Every dollar he had saved was gone. Gone. Months of sacrifice. Gone. Dreams. Gone. Hope. Gone. Daniel sat alone in his room. The same room where he had once promised himself a better future. But now, everything felt dark. He blamed himself. He questioned himself. He doubted himself. Maybe he wasn't smart enough. Maybe he wasn't talented enough. Maybe people were right all along. Then came the words he feared most. "We told you." His relatives laughed. Friends mocked him. Dreams don't pay bills. Success isn't for everyone. Accept reality. Those words hurt. Not because strangers said them, but because some of them came from people he loved. That night Daniel cried. Not because he lost money. Money can be earned again. He cried because he was losing belief. And once belief dies, everything dies. For 3 days he did nothing. He stopped studying, stopped dreaming, stopped caring. He simply existed. Until one evening, his father entered the room. The old man sat beside him quietly. Neither spoke for several minutes. Then his father smiled and said, "Son, when you learned to walk, did you fall?" Daniel nodded. "Many times." His father smiled again. "And did you quit walking?" Daniel looked down. "No." His father placed his hand on Daniel's shoulder. "Then why are you quitting now?" Failure doesn't mean God said no. Sometimes failure means God is teaching you something before giving you something. Strong people aren't people who never fall. Strong people are people who get up again. Daniel couldn't hold back his tears. Because sometimes, you don't need money. You don't need opportunities. You don't need luck. Sometimes all you need is one person who believes in you. That night, Daniel made another promise. Not to the world, not to his relatives, not to his friends, but to himself. I will rise again. I don't care how many times I fail. I don't care who laughs. I don't care how long it takes. I will not quit. Because deep inside, Daniel had finally realized something. Successful people are not people who never fail. Successful people are people who refuse to stay defeated. And although he didn't know it yet, life was about to test him in ways he had never imagined. Because losing money was painful. But what was coming next would test his heart. And that was only the beginning. Part 2, the darkest season. Daniel kept his promise. Not because he felt motivated. Not because life became easier. But because he had finally understood something most people never learn. Motivation is temporary. Feelings change. Excitement fades. But discipline stays. The morning after his conversation with his father, Daniel woke up before sunrise. He looked at himself in the mirror. His eyes were tired. His heart was broken. But there was still a small fire burning inside him. And sometimes that's all you need. Not a huge fire, just a spark. Because even the smallest spark can light up an entire forest. He started again. Not with confidence, not with excitement, but with faith. Day after day he studied, worked, learned, improved, and slowly he became stronger. Not financially, mentally. He realized something powerful. Before success changes your bank account, it changes your mindset. Months passed. Then one afternoon, another problem arrived. His father collapsed at work. Daniel received a phone call that changed everything. He rushed to the hospital. His mother was crying. Doctors explained that his father needed treatment immediately. Medical bills were expensive. Very expensive. Daniel's heart sank. He had no savings, no investments, no emergency fund, nothing. As he stood beside his father's hospital bed, he saw the man who had spent his whole life sacrificing for the family. The same man who had skipped meals so Daniel could eat. The same man who had worked through pain without complaining. The same man who had believed in him when nobody else did. His father smiled weakly and said, "Don't worry, son. I'll be okay." But Daniel knew things were not okay. That night, he sat outside the hospital alone. For the first time in years, fear entered his heart. Not fear of failure. Not fear of poverty, but fear of losing the man who had taught him how to stand. He looked up at the sky. Tears filled his eyes. And he whispered, "God, how much more?" There was no answer. Only silence. But sometimes silence is not rejection. Sometimes silence is preparation. Life became harder. Daniel worked 16 hours a day, sometimes 18. He slept 4 hours, sometimes less. He skipped meals, ignored his exhaustion, ignored his pain, because he had no choice. His family depended on him. Meanwhile, something strange happened. People disappeared. Friends who once called every day suddenly became busy. Relatives who loved giving advice were nowhere to be found. The people who celebrated with him during good times disappeared during hard times. And that hurt, because pain from enemies is expected. Pain from loved ones feels different. One night, Daniel checked his phone. No messages, no calls, no one asking, "How are you?" He smiled sadly. And that's when he learned another lesson. Not everyone who walks beside you is meant to stay with you. Some people love your sunshine, but disappear during your storms. And that's okay, because storms reveal people. Months later, Daniel's best friend Ryan called him. Or at least, the man Daniel thought was his best friend. Ryan had exciting news. He had started a business and wanted Daniel to join him. Daniel trusted him completely. He invested the little money he had. He believed in friendship. He believed in loyalty. But 3 months later, Ryan disappeared. No calls, no messages, no explanations. Daniel had been betrayed. His money was gone. Again. This time it wasn't failure. It was betrayal. And betrayal hurts differently. Because failure breaks dreams. But betrayal breaks trust. For several days, Daniel couldn't sleep. He asked himself, "Why does life keep testing me? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why am I fighting so hard while others seem to get everything easily?" He became angry. Not at people, not at circumstances, at himself. He started comparing his life with others. And comparison slowly poisoned his peace. Until one day, while scrolling through social media, he saw pictures of people his age. Luxury cars, beautiful houses, expensive vacations, smiling faces, perfect lives. And suddenly, he felt like a failure. He closed his phone, sat quietly, and remembered something his father once told him. Never compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. Everyone has different timing, different battles, different journeys. And just because someone is ahead today doesn't mean you are behind forever. That night, Daniel made a decision. He stopped comparing, stopped complaining, stopped explaining himself to people, and started focusing on himself. He began waking up earlier, reading more, exercising, praying, learning, growing, because he realized something. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you understanding. You have to become your own hero. Years passed, and although Daniel was still far from success, something had changed. His mindset, his discipline, his character. Because success isn't built when everyone believes in you. Success is built when nobody believes in you, and you still believe in yourself. One evening, after visiting his father, Daniel sat beside him. The old man smiled. His hair had turned whiter. His face looked tired, but his eyes still carried wisdom. He looked at Daniel and said, "Son, life isn't fair. It never was. But remember this. Easy lives create weak people. Hard lives create strong people. and strong people create beautiful lives. Daniel listened carefully. Then his father added, God is not preparing blessings for the person you are today. He is preparing blessings for the person you're becoming. Those words entered Daniel's soul. And for the first time in years, he stopped asking, when will my life change? Instead, he started asking, who do I need to become? Because deep down, he understood something extraordinary. Money can be lost. Friends can leave. People can betray you. Dreams can fail. But as long as you don't quit, as long as your heart still beats, as long as your faith remains alive, your story isn't over. And little did Daniel know, after years of pain, after years of loneliness, after years of being ignored, life was about to reward him. Not because he was lucky, not because he was special, but because he had survived the season that makes most people give up. And sometimes, the darkest nights happen right before sunrise. Part 3: The Rise. Daniel's life didn't change overnight, but something inside him had already changed forever. He stopped chasing shortcuts. He stopped expecting quick success. He stopped asking, when will life get better? And started asking, how can I become better? Days turned into months. Months turned into years. And slowly, silently, his efforts started to grow roots. Daniel built his skills again from zero. He learned online business properly this time. He studied marketing deeply. He understood people, demand, and value. And most importantly, he learned patience. One small online project finally started working. At first, it was nothing special. A few dollars, then a few hundred, then slowly stability. For the first time in years, Daniel could breathe without fear. He paid his father's medical bills. He cleared small debts. He helped his family stand again. His mother cried the day she saw food in the house without worry. His father looked at him and smiled quietly. Not with pride in money, but pride in his son's strength. And that moment meant everything. But something strange happened next. The same people who ignored Daniel before started calling him. The same relatives who said he has no future started praising him. Old friends returned with smiles. Bro, we always believed in you. Daniel didn't get angry. He just understood. People don't change. Situations do. Respect in this world is often attached to success. But Daniel had already learned the truth. Money brings attention. Success brings respect. But only character brings peace. One evening, Daniel stood alone on a rooftop. City lights shining in front of him. He remembered every insult, every failure, every night he cried silently, every moment he wanted to quit. And he smiled, not because he became rich, but because he survived, because he didn't break, because he didn't give up. He looked at the sky and whispered, so this is what it takes. Not money, not luck, but pain, patience, and persistence. And finally, Daniel understood the real meaning of everything. No money, no respect is not fully true. Because money may change how people treat you. But it is your struggle that builds who you become. And who you become is what defines your real respect.